The U.S. Army psychiatrist accused of committing the 2009 massacre at Fort Hood will defend himself at his upcoming murder trial. Major Hasan says he will use what's called a defense of others argument, but did not elaborate on that strategy. Jury selection is set to begin Wednesday, with the jury pool being drawn from officers at Oklahoma's Fort Sill. Major Hasan has asked for a 3-month delay, and the judge will rule on that request tomorrow. Major Hasan faces either the death penalty or life without parole if convicted.
Colby Vokey is a criminal defense attorney and a former Marine Corps judge advocate. We had him in just last week talking about if he'd get the delay, or excuse me, if he'd get to represent himself, and you said pretty much there's no real choice. If he's going to push for it, the judge would probably grant it, and that's what happened today. So Colby, let me ask you, this now he's announced his defense strategy in court is going to be this defense of others. I don't know, just out the gate, what do you think of defense of others? What do you think of him throwing that out there?
Well, in his case, it's ridiculous, and it's ridiculous for a few reasons. One is defense of others is a legitimate defense in criminal law.
That's if somebody's trying to kill him, and I step in front, I can do harm to others if I'm saving somebody else's life.
That's right. You always have a right of self-defense, yes. and if somebody close to you is in danger, you can save them, so that self-defense kind of transfers. Right. However, that doesn't work for saying you're defending somebody in a far-off land. So what it has to be an imminent threat that's about to happen right then. That's when defense of others applies.
And that's what you read this as, right? This is not going to be he was defending somebody on post. He's wanting to make it possibly political and say, I'm defending innocents in Afghanistan or something like that. That'll be the argument?
Steve, it appears exactly that same thing. And there's no indication, no evidence that I've seen to suggest that he's protecting somebody that was in danger right around him. And again, that would be kind of silly given the facts that as we know him.
It seems, I wonder, does he have access to the internet? Can he communicate to people? That seems like a formula kind of defense. Smart. If you want to make a political statement on down the road, you continue and you say you're saving people in far off lands from the, I don't know, the devil of America or whatever. How would he know about that? Has that been used at Guantanamo maybe or anything like that?
Not really. The problem is he's not going to be able to get any of that evidence in. It won't fly. I mean, he's got to present it some way. If he wants to ask for witnesses, he's got to have them approved before they come, and they wouldn't be relevant.
Okay.
He wants certain pieces of evidence. He's going to request it to be admitted either before trial or during trial, and it's not going to come in. So it's going to be left with him just making statements about this is what I believe. And
the judge will squash that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. All it takes is an objection of relevance from the prosecution, and legitimately it won't be admitted.
Okay, let's talk about some of the that happened today. He did get to represent himself and immediately asked for a 3-month delay, said he wasn't prepared to do it. Judge is going to rule tomorrow. Actually, he asked in court, and the judge said, well, you got to write up a brief. Let's do it the way you're an attorney now. Do it the way it has to be.
Right.
File it with me tomorrow, and I'll decide. What happens, do you think?
I think she'll probably grant him the delay. The fact that he is representing himself, it's going to take him a lot longer to do things he normally would, given his condition. So I think granting a delay would not be unreasonable.
He's going to have 2 other people in the chairs next to him, but he's the guy. What will their role be? I mean, when he really doesn't want anybody there, how does that play out? You may have been in that position, you may not, but when somebody's representing themselves, has 2 people sitting near him, and he doesn't want anything to do with them, how does that play out?
Well, they're required to be there. The judge is going to make them be there. He can still turn to him and ask him questions, such as, what's the rule of evidence for this piece of evidence, or
walk me through
how do I get this in? So he can still turn to him for help. I'm not sure that he will, but they will be there and to offer anything they possibly can.
All right, big, even increased security today over what it was last week. Is that to be expected? I mean, they're really ramping things up down there.
Yeah, as you get closer to trial, I would expect security to increase quite a bit. When they start doing jury selection, selecting the members for the court, I think the security will be extremely high.
And because some outsiders might, I mean, it's on a military post. I would think it's built in inherently safe, not necessarily? Or?
Well, it is inherently safe, and Fort Hood's a pretty secure base anyway. Yeah. The court down there, I've been in that court several times, and the way they've got it with all the HESCO barriers surrounding it, it's going to take a nuclear strike to get through that courthouse. But they want to protect the members not just for safety from any kind of influence people getting to him, probably trying to identify him as well.
Okay. All right, Colby, thank you. Thanks for coming down, and we'll keep an eye on it. Thanks.